In 2003, when we started the brand, we started with Tatuaje, our classic brown label line. We've been selling this in Europe now for the past 5 years, and this year we introduced our new brand called Atelier. Atelier is a new brand I started with my brother and two friends to experiment more with Tatuaje products outside of the Tatuaje brand. Atelier is one of our more classic lines that we do in the Atelier imports category, and so far this product has been selling very well in Europe and very well received in the United States with the ratings from Cigar Aficionado. This year we received 94 points on Atelier. This cigar is very special for us because we're using a new seed varietal that so far that we know no one else is using, called Sanctus Spiritus. Outside of Cuba, no one that we know is using this seed varietal. It's a seed varietal that Pepino and José Garcia were able to get seeds and grow in Nicaragua originally, and then we had some experimental crops grown in Ecuador by Oliva Tobacco out of Tampa, Florida. This blend, again, is medium-bodied. It's made with the Sanctus Spiritus wrapper, which offers like a very creamy with a slight spice to it, but medium-bodied. If you know anything about the Sanctus Spiritus leaf seed varietal, it's a crossbreed between a very classic old seed from Cuba called Pele de Oro and Criollo 98. Pele de Oro is a seed that Cuba is no longer allowed to grow because it's very hard to grow, but Sanctus Spiritus is the replacement seed that is very resistant to any problems in the farm. So very special blend, very special product, and again, very well received here in Europe. In 2003, when we started the Tatuaje line, we started with the original classic brown label. We also have a few other lines. The Reserva line, the J21 is probably our most popular Reserva line here in Europe. It's a classic Robusto that we've been making since 2005, and we have a fun line that we do, a very premier line for us called Kohonu. If you know the translation for Kohonu, it means that the cigar has, how do I say, balls. It has strength, it has character, it has a lot of depth, and the word Kohonu in Spanish is a slang word for cojonudo, but it means it's kind of not a great word, but people understand it when it comes to the cigar because the cigar has a lot of depth and strength to it. The Kohonu series has been pretty well received over here because very big sizes with heavy tobacco, and each line is completely different. Tatuaje brown label being the base of Tatuaje, the Reserva being slightly stronger than the base Tatuaje, and the Kohonu being the strongest of all three.
Very good.
In 2005, when we started the Reserva line, we originally blended the cigar with a classic size called Gran Corona, which is the size of an A size, 9 1/4 by 47 ring gauge, a very big celebration cigar. And when I did two other sizes in that line, including a Churchill, which the Churchill and the A are very similar profile, very similar blend. But the J21, which is the classic Robusto, was actually, it didn't complement itself in that size with the blend from the A or the Churchill. So we changed the blend completely and actually made it a little stronger. So in the Reserva line, the J21 is unique to itself. It's actually the only blend in that Reserva line that's completely different. There's a lot of proprietary information about the blend that we don't really talk about, but it does have a classic Nicaraguan blend with a Habano Ecuador wrapper from Ecuador. That's beautiful rosado oscuro color, and we make this in very small quantities. But the cigar itself has that pepper, has that spice, has that depth, very complex and round mouthfeel, and very happy with obviously the quality, but also very happy with the sales here in Europe, especially since the cigar is a little bit more high in price. But I think people understand quality and appreciate that we make great cigars.
The blends.
What makes us different than other Nicaraguan cigars? When we started in 2003, Pepin and I were looking for a certain flavor profile. He was just coming over from Cuba, and I was working for retail in the United States, and I wanted to find something that I appreciated, like old cigars from the past, like in the 70s and 80s, when certain cigars that I was smoking were very rich, very complex, and had a lot of balance, but also the flavor and the balance were complementing each other. They weren't just strong for the sake of being strong. They actually had flavor and a clean palate. So every time you would smoke a Tatuaje, you could actually smoke another one right away because it didn't dirty up your palate. And I think that's the best part about what we do is keeping balance in every cigar we make. So when you smoke one, you don't feel like you smoked a heavy cigar, even though the blend could be heavy. It actually keeps your palate very clean, and you can appreciate another one very quickly after that. What makes us different than every other Nicaraguan product? Really, a lot of companies use a lot of the same tobaccos, a lot of the same varietals, but I think it's just the magic between Pepin and I, and understanding, and his son Jaime, understanding each other's palates, and understanding, paying attention to classic history of cigars and where they came from, and not doing anything to the cigars or the tobacco that we use to alter it in any way. We let the tobacco speak for itself.